Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Kind of a funky looking setup, isn't that? Anyway, so today's video is about how I got the Umarex 12-gram dual adapter to actually work on my MCX. Another YouTuber got on one of my videos and, was looking for this video, and it's like, thought I put one up. Apparently I didn't. So I'm going to go over with you how I got this adapter to work. Now, not everybody has had problems getting this adapter to just screw in and work perfect, okay? But some of us do have this issue. Actually, a lot of us have this issue on the MCX and on the MPX air rifle from Sig Sauer with this adapter. Now, this adapter by no means is supported by Umarex to say that it's going to work on this exact gun. Okay, they do say it works on their own brands of guns, certain guns, but they don't say it's going to be 100% on this. The problem with this adapter, with the Sig Sauers that we've discovered, is the fact that the threads are too short, or the post or tip is too short. If you compare this to a regular air source bottle, you will find that air source bottles are a little bit taller and have a little bit more thread to them, which means that's why they screw in perfectly fine into this gun all the time. And they were designed to run off of 88 or 90 gram bottles. They weren't technically designed to work with this. Now, I do have a single 12-gram adapter that works absolutely beautiful with this, and no mods required. However, with this thing, some modifications to the gun had to be made. So let's address that for you and show you what I actually had to do to this thing. So I'm going to do a shutdown and reset here. Okay, so now we're all zoomed in. Now, I know you might not be able to see this as well, but in here you're going to see a lot of silver now and no more paint. That's because I had to take a Dremel with a Dremel sanding drum, and I had to go around and 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 around for quite a while, and keep checking as I went. I knew I had a fair amount of meat to remove to begin with, so I did that first, and I was very careful about it. So you're going to have to do the same thing if you want to use this adapter. But be of caution, okay? Stuff some Kleenex or paper towel or small rag in here so that none of that stuff gets into the threads or at your seal, okay? You don't want all this debris from there shooting in there, because it's going to make a horrifying mess, and that debris can get into your valve and really make a mess of your valve stem, and then you're going to have a leaky gun. So make sure that you block this off, and then you take a vacuum cleaner, like a shop vac preferably if you have one, and suck all that stuff out before you try pulling that rag out, okay? Very, very important. And then you try your fit. So you ignite your back bottle on your adapter, and your front one gets ignited as you go in, and that's just the way things work. So let me just zoom out. Oh, actually that's not actually too bad right there. So then we can start screwing this thing in, and we check, and we see a nice gap there. I could use a hairball more of a gap here just to be, a little bit more perfect about it, and I still might do that yet, but it is sufficient the way I have it that this adapter now works properly without any hassles, okay? And then I can just snug it up by hand. It's nice and snug. It's not going to leak. We're all good to go, okay? So if you want to be a little pickier than I am, take a little bit of extra out, but I see that I got enough of a gap all around the edges that that fat part is not touching the metal, which means I did it right. Even though I got a little bit wider gap here, that's fine, okay? But that's what you're going to have to do to get the Umarex 12-gram adapter to actually work. Now, from what I've been told, and I haven't checked yet, but I will, there are other adapters out on the market similar to this, and Umarex's last design of this adapter actually was the proper thread length, so you wouldn't have to mess with your Sig Sauer MCX or MPX. But these new ones that they put out of recent while, I don't know how long, they have a shorter shaft and shorter amount of thread on them. So yeah, we got to modify our guns now, and that's why anybody buying an MCX or MPX right now, and they buy this dual 12-gram adapter because it should work on most air guns, okay? yeah, it's not going to work probably, and you're going to run into the problem, piss gas everywhere, or not even ignite. I didn't even ignite the front bottle. It wouldn't ignite. You know, and then as I started to carve away, I got a spot where, yep, it ignited and pissed out gas. I'm like, okay, I got to go further, you know. And you got to be careful because you don't want to mess with this collar either, okay. This collar is, you know, part of holding it's spring-loaded mechanism to hold your stock on, so don't mess with the collar. It has nothing to do with it, and it's not going to be an interference no matter what. What you want is just to mess with just this outer lip here. This whole outer area is where you want to mess with, and do it very carefully, very slowly. You know, you're going to have your Dremel probably on speed 5 with a coarse sanding disc, but remember, jam this hole in these threads full of either Kleenex or a rag so that none of that debris hits the threads or into the seal. Otherwise, you're going to end up with problems with your gun. So just keep that in mind. Now, you screw this up, that's on you. Okay, I've explained how I've done it, and it works properly, and I was very cautious about it. You need to do the same if you're going to modify your gun to work with this Umarex one. Now, this you're going to get a lot more shots out of, obviously, than the single 12-grammer, which the single 12-grammer, you don't have to do any modifications at all to your gun. It screws in, it's done and over, away you go, have fun. But you're going to get a lot less shots. This is going to give you a lot more shots once you have it properly set up with the modification in here. Okay. Your other resort to this, to avoid modification, is to find an actual properly supported 12-gram adapter like this, dual 12. See, the idea why we want to use these is air source bottles, or whatever you want to call them, they're expensive. You know, you buy a box of 2 of them for $21 to $25 Canadian. Either way, even in the US, the prices in the US, it's still expensive. And you have 250 shots out of this gun in Canada. I don't know what the US version gun gets because it's a little bit faster. But you have to shoot off the entire bottle or waste gas, because Sig Sauer does not recommend leaving gas in this gun long term, or it will damage the gun. Okay? Well, mainly valve seals, I guess, or something. It can damage them. So that's why they say either waste it off or shoot the whole bottle out. Let me tell you, I don't want to sit there and shoot 250 friggin' rounds out of this thing. That drives me nuts. You know, and I have done it. And it's like, oh, is this ever going to end? You know, like, I want to go shoot something else, but I don't want to leave gas in it. Now, you can leave gas in the gun, okay, charged for 1 to 2 weeks. I don't think there's going to be a problem within 1 to 2 weeks, and then go shoot off the rest of it. But for me, I like to shoot generally about 40-50 rounds out of a gun, and then go grab another gun, do the same thing, go grab another gun. I have a lot of guns, and I got to spend time with each one of them too. But at the same time, I may want to just shoot, you know, do 50 shots, 60 shots, and then I'm done shooting for the day because I want to go do something else. Well, you take 50 or 60 shots out of one of those big 88 or 90-gram bottles, you got a lot of shots left over, right? So what are your options? Well, I'm not going to shoot my gun again probably for another month. I'm going to shoot another gun or something, or other guns. Well, I probably wouldn't suggest a month, so you're going to have to waste the bottle, and that's a lot of money going out into the atmosphere for nothing, okay? So this is where these adapters, single or dual, come in handy. Lesser shots, you get your fix, you're done, who cares? It's $2 of CO2 in this thing for, I can't remember exactly how many shots, but $1 in the single unit. Now, you are going to take an FPS drop. That's going to happen. These things are gas hogs, so you will take a bit of an FPS drop when using these adapters, but that's the sacrifice you make in order to save a lot of money on gas. Still have fun with your gun either way. Besides, these aren't exactly the most accurate guns on the planet anyways. They're more of a fun gun than anything. They can be fairly accurate with enough time finding the right pellets to work with them. Some of these run wide cutters just fine, some will run pointed, some will run whatever, but it's also different brands, different weights you got to play with till you find one that runs extremely well, okay? And then that's going to be your pellet of choice for having fun with this gun, because it is a lot of fun. It is a cool replica, you know. It's an expensive replica. It should be a lot more accurate than what it is, but it is what it is, okay? So that's how I did the modification. So if you're interested in doing the mod, you're going to need a Dremel. You're going to need Dremel sanding drums. I use the bigger drum, okay, because you generally have 3 sizes on the Dremel. I use the bigger one, and I just go around and around and around very carefully. And of course, I'm using a Dremel snake, so I have the most control over the tool. So make sure your Dremel that you have has the Dremel snake with it, so you get the optimal control. And make sure you also hold your gun firmly with one hand as you're doing this with the other hand, and be very careful, very light movements, you know, the light to the touch, and just peel it away a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And do not forget to block off this area to keep debris out and suck out the debris before you do your test, okay? And you don't even really need live CO2 in here to do the test. It's just a matter of screwing the thing in. You will end up with more gap on the right side than the left, but you want to make sure there's also a gap of some sort on the left side when this is snugged up. Okay, and you don't reef these, by the way. Okay, you go until it stops, and then just one little twist like that. That's it, even with an air source bottle. Okay, but you want to check and make sure that you can actually physically see a gap all the way around of some sort. If you've got at least that, you've got it licked. Okay. And that's how I did mine, and it works perfect, so I'm not worried about it. It's cool, and now I can save a boatload of money on CO2 gas because I don't have to shoot 250 shots, because this ain't going to give me 250 shots. But even if I get, say, 60 or 70 shots out of this, maybe I might want to take another 50 or 60 shots, maybe 20 more. I can reload this thing, and when I unscrew this one, it also self-seals, so you can leave CO2 in here live long term. Ain't gonna hurt this thing. It's the gun you worry about, according to Saure anyways. That's it. That's all. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helped the guy who asked about it this morning on my channel. And hey guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.